that, we'd like to begin to dig into the issues that we've come here to discuss today, and we've got a really powerful lineup. Hopefully you all have the agenda and you can follow along in terms of what's coming up later in the day. But we want to kick things off this morning with an initiative to really better understand the population, the black population of our region. You know, one of our concerns has been kind of a reverse migration, people leaving the region, especially our youngest, our best and our brightest, who get out of our schools and decide they want to go to school down south or in other parts of the country, and they never come home. And so how do we retain people? We don't have, as I mentioned in the video, we don't have enough people today that we need to do the work that has to be done here in southwestern Pennsylvania. It's just a demographic reality. We have more jobs than we have people. So if you want to be able to meet that need, you got to have people that want to be here, that are satisfied to be here, that look forward to living here, and look forward to coming to work every day and really building that Pittsburgh of the future. And so we're going to kick things off with a presentation this morning on the CEIR Pitt Black Satisfaction and Retention Survey. And to walk us through that and what it means and how it's going to work and what they're finding, please welcome Godfrey Bethea, the Vice President of Equity, People, and Culture at the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank, Kellie Ware, the Executive Director of Professional Development at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, and Dr. Kyaien, the Director of the Pitt Center for Race and Social Problems.
Good morning. Said that too loud. On behalf of CEIR, it's my pleasure to be in front of you today. My name is Godfrey Bethea. I'm the Vice President of Equity, People, and Culture with the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. I volunteer my time with the CEIR Working Group and with Tim Stevens, and we share a common interest: to understand and address the retention of diverse employable working talent in the region. More specifically, we address the African American working talent in the region. In order to see our black, I'm sorry, just make sure that the slide is working. There it goes. In order to see our black communities thrive economically, it is not only imperative that we find a way to keep talent in the community, but to ensure that we are able to partake in the employment opportunities that employers in the region have to offer. More specifically, that's the reason why we're here today, and you heard that in the conversations this morning and in previous to me coming up here, and in conversations you'll see throughout the day. But we aren't unlike other metropolitan regions in the country who face discriminatory and unfair practices for our African American communities. But studies have shown that Western Pennsylvania has ranked at the lower end across multiple social determinants of health factors for Black and African Americans. And although many of us share these experiences, it is time for us to share these experiences in more explicit manner. In 2010, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that Pittsburgh region ranked dead last for racial and economic parity. Over the years since then, in 2010 to 2020, we have seen a decline in African American population from the Pittsburgh region by 13%, and that's based on the U.S. Census Bureau. There are probably a number of reasons we have seen this decline, but why would we see this decline when in 2022, Pittsburgh ranked number 9, best places to live in the U.S.? Well, studies have told us that it's not the most livable city, especially for African American women. As mentioned in the last CEIR conference in November, we announced that the Corporate Equity Inclusion Roundtable would launch and sponsor a project called the Black Pittsburgh Satisfaction and Retention Survey. We conducted a live poll during that conference when we announced this project. The results were a sample of the kind of information we expect to collect through the survey. We asked, what would make you leave the Pittsburgh region? The top reasons we're economic opportunity, employment opportunity, to see more diversity in culture in the region, and to escape systemic discriminatory experiences. There was a few that even said they were not looking to leave the Pittsburgh region. We also asked the challenges faced by the African American communities in this region, and 60% of the participants that responded said systemic racism. This survey, this Black Pittsburgh Satisfaction and Retention Survey, is ready for launch and is open for responses. The purpose of the survey initiative is to collect data and insights on the attitudes of Black population in and from the Pittsburgh region, and to deepen our understanding of why some Black African Americans would stay in the region and why others decide to leave the region. To achieve higher levels of inclusion, a report of these results will be shared with leaders and with businesses across the region to support their recruitment and retention efforts in the African American communities. My colleague, Kellie Ware, will talk through the distribution plan for the survey, and Dr. Kyaien will talk about our partnership with the University of Pittsburgh Center for Race and Social Problems. Our partnership also we had with Vibrant Pittsburgh and the Urban League through this initiative. But the University of Pittsburgh Center for Race and Social Problems will also lead the collection and reporting of the survey results with everyone. So please welcome Kellie Ware.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be back here today to talk about the launch of the survey that we spoke about last November. For those who don't know me, my name is Dr. Kyaien. I am a professor and the Donald M. Henderson Endowed Chair at the University of Pittsburgh in the School of Social Work. I am also the director of the Center on Race and Social Problems and the Associate Dean for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion in the School of Social Work. I'm a licensed clinical social worker by profession and am very passionate in terms of advocacy as well as professional work to try to address disparities, and was incredibly moved by Mayor Gainey's comments this morning and all the other information that we have heard that really just helped to amplify the importance of this survey that we have now ready to launch. So just for those who may not know about the Center on Race and Social Problems at the University of Pittsburgh, we've been in existence for over 20 years. This was one of the first research centers at the University of Pittsburgh, and really any university in the country, that really centered and amplified issues that address race and ethnicity. Our goal is to better understand and find solutions to social problems that are impacted by race and ethnicity. And ultimately, our goal is to dismantle the drivers of racism and oppression and lead to additional social justice in a range of different areas. So we were incredibly excited to partner with CEIR on this survey. We believe that having accurate and robust data to truly understand what is impacting our communities is the only way to develop solutions that are going to make a real difference. One of the other things I think that's important about this particular survey is that often when we look at research, it focuses on things from a deficit perspective, right? What is wrong? What are the problems? What are the issues? And that's important, but Pittsburgh has a lot of strengths too. And it's important for us to know what those things are. What are the factors that are keeping people here? What are the factors that are making people make a decision to come back to Pittsburgh, so that we can highlight and amplify those things and use that capacity to enhance what we have here, as well as to help encourage folks to come back to Pittsburgh and continue to move in the positive directions that we've already seen. So Chris will have a number of roles with regard to this survey. We've been working on refinement, and as you know now, it is ready to go. We're also really excited that we've decided to add some qualitative interviews. So what that means is that after we get the survey results, and we're hoping to get surveys from about 1,000 people, and that's for folks not just here, but also people who have left Pittsburgh to try to understand their reasons for leaving. We're also looking to survey folks who are gone but are interested in coming back to find out what those reasons are, as well as talking to people who have no intention to leave to figure out what is that carrot, what is the hook that keeps people here. Oftentimes, I think that we can anecdotally have an idea about what's going on, and we know some of the problems in Pittsburgh. But also, those of us in this room are in a very privileged perspective. We've had some opportunities that others haven't, and sometimes our perspective on what are the true issues might not reflect every community, every demographic subgroup. So we have a very robust demographic survey in this particular demographic survey, in the larger survey, so that we can have a better understanding of facilitators and barriers for different age groups, genders, gender identity, sexuality, education status, type of job, neighborhood. So we're hoping to get a lot of really important data and then go back and do interviews with individuals in those different subgroups so that we can then have that qualitative contextual data. Numbers are helpful. It gives us sort of patterns of overall picture, but personal narratives are moving. And hearing from people and their unique experiences here are just going to amplify the data that we're able to attain. And then we'll be working to develop some reports and make that information public. So I talked about this. We've got a big demographic setting here. We're looking at factors that influence Black Pittsburghers to leave and to stay. We also ask folks to kind of prioritize those issues so that we have a better understanding of the complex interplay between these different kinds of factors so that we know where it might be our first places to focus and start. And then what are we going to do? Obviously, we want to disseminate this information very widely. We want to create reports, publications. We want to get this into the media, social media. We want to get this to business leaders. We want to have town halls in the community to really talk about what this means and work together to create actionable solutions. And of course, get this information back to all those who participated in the survey. And again, the goal here really is to develop meaningful action steps and strategies towards enhancing our region, keeping people here, and helping to get folks who have left to want to come back to Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's you.
that's me.
Okay. Thanks, Kelly.
That was my fault. I rearranged the order that we were going. So I wanted to really get you excited about the dream team that we've assembled here, because the Center on Race and Social Problems can have an idea of, we should survey folks. We want to, ask my whole branch of the family tree that's in Atlanta. I mean, I have an idea of why you left. I know why you told me you left, but what would you answer somebody? But we had the capability to do a really detailed survey monkey amongst ourselves, but we have really the best experts, I would argue, in the country helping us with this project. So before we start talking about next steps and action items, I wanted Dr. Kyaien to get up here and get you a little, obviously very enthused, and I'm seeing some smiles and some nods, so hopefully you're excited as well. So we talked a little bit about the goals and methods. So we're going to target our survey takers, and we're trying to reach everyone because we know that it takes a little bit of time to make things happen. So you see Gen Alpha up there. So who's Generation Alpha? They are currently, the oldest is 15. But if we're looking at making any type of change that's going to be taking place in the next 4 years, 3 years, when these 15-year-olds are looking at colleges, when they're looking at entering the workforce, we need to ask them and kind of be able to hit the mark a little bit ahead of where we are. So we want to hit them, and we want to also hit the silent generation, my grandparents if they were alive. We'd also want to ask them what their strengths and weaknesses are and why they never left. So we really want the full, what I call Black diaspora of Pittsburgh, because we are here and we are also everywhere else. And so we're going to do that online through the survey code that I moved to the back because I want you to finish listening to the rest of the presentation. As I said, I reordered some of these things. We also are going to, through CRISP, have some appointment availability around survey taking so that you can call a number and make an appointment, because not everybody, again, we're operating in this space from a place of privilege. There could be literacy barriers. There could be computer literacy barriers. But we still need to build a city where all Black people, and everybody else, of course, but this is targeting Black folks, is able to thrive, and we want to make sure that your opinion is included as well. We're working on incentives for survey takers. We have right now at least the ability for when, this is kind of our soft launch for June, but for July through August, we will at least have the ability to raffle off a gift card for one survey taker a week. We have some, that we'll get to opportunities to partner in a minute, but we will have some minimum incentives, and we may have more. We're working on that. Which direction is the direction? This one? Up?
The green button.
Green, got it. Maybe. Ha.
Yes, you did.
All right, thank you. So our distribution plan is our survey period starts today. If you scan the QR code, it will be among the first that are not in our pre-focus group to take the survey, and we're running through September 30th to give ourselves opportunity and time to reach parents in schools, to reach those high school students as well, who are a little bit scattered at this point. We're going to be promoting person to person, so that is send the code, send the link directly to my brother in Brooklyn. We'd ask everybody to send it to the folks that you know who have left as well. Through community organizations, there will be opportunities to partner with us, to bring somebody out to your organization to speak, to have competitions perhaps between perhaps maybe Pitt's alumni and Duquesne's alumni, just because I'm from Pitt and I know folks at the Duquesne's Alumni Association. We'd like to maybe have a little wager as to who can get more folks to do the survey. Tabling at community events, we have QR codes and we have flyers for that as well. Traditional media, we have media partners here. I know, I'm staring at you directly, but we have many other media partners as well as online shows and opportunities there, social media, professional networks, and so lots of opportunities to get the survey out there as well. Okay. How you can support, we would be asking everyone to share with your network, your personal network, your professional networks, as well as in community. We have the opportunity to, again, as we mentioned, that there are incentives. We had talked to the Penguins, and they were interested in providing a basket or a ticket of some sort to raffle off to survey participants. If you have anything that you or your organization have the ability to donate for a raffle, we would be happy to accept those as well and provide adequate credit. And of course, taking the survey would be the first and easiest way to support. So here's the first link to the survey. Sorry, you can go back. But I also have flyers that we're going to pass out, one per table. But I'll give everybody a second because I see phones coming up, so I don't want to move too fast. Okay. There we go. We also have a website, which is the blackpittsburghsurvey.org, and that's where that's this QR code. So this is what I actually want everybody to keep, because this is where you're going to find opportunities to connect, opportunities to support. We'll be able to update this to where we're tabling, to our toolkit for community organizations and partners will be posted to the website. There's a screen grab at the, I think it looks pretty good. Took me quite a few hours to, I'm not really a web developer, but I can dabble. So there's a screenshot here of the survey of the homepage that'll take you to. And so this is where we really want you to bookmark this, because this is where there's going to be really opportunities to partner. Share the code widely, of course, but this is going to be where you will find all the information on partnering. And of course, we have a dedicated email address as well, which is blackpittsburghsurvey@gmail.com. Thanks.